In this video, we're going to be going over what clusters are. So here at the the volume format option panel, after we have file system, we have clusters right here. And we have 0.5 KIB, 1 KIB, 2 KIB, so on and so forth. So what is a cluster? A cluster, in computer file systems, a cluster or allocation unit is a unit of disk space allocation for files and directories. To reduce the overhead of managing on-disk data structures, the file system does not allocate the individual disk sectors by default, but a continuous group of sectors, often called clusters. So what is that? That's just a bunch of technical jargon that doesn't actually mean anything. What is a cluster? A cluster, or a data cluster, or allocation unit, is a unit of disk space allocation for files and directories. That means that a cluster is a unit of measurement of memory space on a hard disk. It is a unit of measurement of memory space on a hard disk. To understand a cluster, you first need to understand how data is stored on a hard drive and the hierarchy of data on a hard drive. So when you store data on a hard drive, it works like this. The smallest unit of data is bit, then byte, then sector, then sector, then cluster. Let's mess with me here. Cluster. And here's a little graph. There's the bit, the 0, the byte, 8 bits, so 8 codes of binary, then the sector, then the cluster. Then there's the hard drive itself. So it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little fraction of the hard drive. So when data is stored on the hard drive, the smallest unit of data is a bit. That's the smallest unit of data that a hard drive can have. But the smallest memory, the smallest measurement of memory that we can put a file on is a cluster. So a bit may be the smallest bit of data that a hard drive can have, but a cluster is the smallest unit of measurement of data that we can actually put a file on. So when data is stored on a hard drive, the smallest data is a bit, then 8 bits make a byte, 512 bytes make a sector, and in this example, 4 sectors make a cluster. So 0 bits, 8 bytes, 512 bytes make a sector, and then 4 sectors make a cluster. And here's another example right here. So a cluster is just a unit of measurement on the hard disk. So that's what's going on there. And that's my little video for today. If you guys like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and help the channel out.